In many ways, 2016 was a very surprising year, marked by unprecedented global change. It was very important that companies stayed the course and had a clear strategy to help them navigate through these challenges. And more importantly, also be flexible to adapt to these changes successfully. And I think in 2016, Olam successfully met this balance of doing both at the same time. On the business front, I think we did extremely well. Operationally, we improved our operational PATMI by 23% and concurrently grew our top line by 15% in volume terms and 8% in terms of revenue terms. More importantly, we continue to make solid progress in executing our strategy, our first year of our 3-year strategic plan. We went upstream and expanded our footprint in palm and rubber and in almonds and in coffee. We also entered into related new adjacent businesses in walnuts and pistachios within the edible nut platform and getting into pepper plantations in Brazil and Vietnam. And we made a significant commitment last year to get into the animal feeds business, where we committed to get into fish feed manufacturing and poultry feed manufacturing and day-old chicks in Africa, in Nigeria. And also, we very successfully integrated the transformational acquisitions that we made in 2015 in the cocoa business, in the wheat milling business, as well as in the peanut shelling business. On the sustainability front, everything that we did last year was underpinned by a steadfast belief in our core purpose of growing responsibly, which is finding profitable growth in an ethical, in a socially responsible, and in an environmentally sustainable basis. As a result, we expanded our footprint in terms of the number of farmers that we involved or got registered under the Olam Farmer Information System by almost 32,000 new farmers that were added. The total now is 65,000 farmers under the OFIS program in 13 countries. 55,000 of the farmers under our OLC program of 302,000 farmers is really women farmers, and we are particularly pleased with that. On the environmental side, we significantly reduced our footprint in the operations that we directly manage and control. Our carbon dioxide footprint by 29%, our water footprint by 30%, which is also therefore headed in the right direction. We are pleased with that. And that is why it's very important for us to reflect on the theme of this year's annual report, which is maximizing purpose and value concurrently at the same time. It's not an either-or choice for us. Both are equally important, and we don't see any conflict in pursuing both that simultaneously and concurrently. We, in that context, are particularly pleased that in September of last year, we convened and helped catalyze the creation of a sectoral-wide alliance, the Global Agribusiness Alliance, to tackle the major developmental challenges that confront us this century as an industry. And looking forward, I'm excited about the prospects for Olam, particularly given our strategy of focusing our portfolio across these 4 clusters, with each cluster having a common set of imperatives that we are executing on, and then treating Africa as a 5th vertical because of our footprint in Africa and our operating capabilities in Africa. We also want to live up to our name and live up to our brand values, and therefore we want to make progress next year in continuing to reinforce our brand values of being the unrivaled expert in our industry, being the transformer and change agent in our industry, and being the trusted partner to all our stakeholders. And in conclusion, I want to thank the 69,800 fellow colleagues of mine at Olam whose discretionary effort and commitment made us achieve what we have done and will be the underpinning of what we expect to be able to do going forward. I also want to thank our shareholders for entrusting their resources with us and trusting us to steward those resources. And I want to thank all of the partners who helped in our success last year, and we look forward to working with you to build on Olam's exciting journey that's ahead of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shekhar and I'm the Group COO of Olam. I'm here to share with you the operating results for 2016, and I want to focus on 4 main areas. Number 1, the earnings growth in 2016. Number 2, the continuing efforts on debt optimization that we have been doing over the last few years. Number 3, the focus on free cash flow generation. And number 4, the targeted investments that we have made in some of our prioritized platform, which bode very well for 2017 and beyond. So starting with our earnings performance, very pleased to inform that we have generated an operational PATMI of 23% growth over prior period, netting off all exceptional items. In 2015, we had one-off exceptional losses which resulted in an overall loss of 115 million, but against that we have delivered a PATMI of $351 million, and this is against the backdrop of very challenging conditions, overall macroeconomic conditions, as well as very tough operating conditions in our marketplace. In a year which was a very tough year for the overall industry, we are very pleased with the result wherein our operational earnings and our operational performance grew 23% over the prior period. Moving on to the overall debt portfolio optimization, which has been a journey that started in 2014. In terms of our overall financing cost, in 2016 it was $45 million lower compared to 2015, and this was despite our continuing investments and an overall increase in our debt portfolio. And this has come on the back of us being able to reduce our credit spreads across all our tenors in our debt portfolio, and also ensuring that we have optimized the tenors to meet our overall assets that we have invested in. The third area is where we feel we have done very well is the focus on free cash flow. So while because of our continued investments, we are still overall negative, but it has been a significant improver over prior period because of the improvements in our net operating cash flows as well as reduced capex that we have done in the last year. So put together with a very strong earnings growth, very strong debt portfolio and optimized debt portfolio, a focus on continued focus on free cash flow generation, we have ended 2016 in a very strong financial, on an overall financial basis, and are looking forward to 2017 to build upon the competitive position that we have invested in over the last few years. Going forward, it's all about execution, and we will stay focused in 2017 on delivering three outcomes. Number one, extract full value from our contributing investments. Number two, ensuring the operating milestones are delivered on in our gestating assets. And number three, ensuring that we make and pursue targeted growth in our prioritized platforms. And as always, we'll do this by growing responsibly, staying focused on ensuring good governance standards, focus on sustainability, and deliver real value to all our stakeholders. So stay tuned for further progress on our strategic plan, and thank you very much for joining us today.
At Olam, we're committed to our core purpose of growing responsibly. This means ensuring profitable growth in an ethical, socially responsible, and environmentally sustainable manner. Growing responsibly is embedded within our business framework as a way of creating long-term value for our continuing shareholders and all our stakeholders. To that end, we set out a vision to achieve end-to-end sustainable supply chains by 2020, which is an ambitious and challenging goal. We continued to make good headway in 2016 across the 7 material areas that we identified as vital to our business. These include livelihoods, labour, food security and nutrition, food safety and quality, land, water and climate change. As a global agribusiness with multiple supply chains across 70 countries, we understand well that many issues that we face are closely connected to wider challenges, including rural poverty, lack of community infrastructure, and capacity challenges. We also know that solutions require a multi-stakeholder approach, which is why we collaborate with peers and partners, including over 30 partners for the Olam Livelihood Charter programs alone. In 2016, we also initiated the groundbreaking Global Agribusiness Alliance, which is the first CEO-led private sector force committed to addressing the most crucial developmental challenges of our time. Through the hard work and dedication of our team, we are proud of our achievements over the past year. On the social front, this includes having improved safety year on year. We also reached many more smallholder women. We registered over 65,000 smallholders on the Olam Farmer Information System, which offers unparalleled insights into individual farms in highly rural areas, enabling us to create tailored farm management plans. And we made progress on major programs to grant security of land tenure for cooperatives in Gabon and on advanced nutrition and crop diversification initiatives. On the environmental front, we continued to improve our carbon footprint in our own operations. We made good progress with climate-smart agriculture training programs for smallholders. We undertook groundbreaking work on water stewardship, such as in coffee. And finally, we also increased the overall tonnage covered under the Olam supplier code, which now covers 58% of priority product volumes, including cocoa, coffee, palm and rubber. In the year ahead, we remain focused on executing our sustainability strategy along the 4 main objectives to generate maximum positive impact for stakeholders. We will mitigate sustainability risks to the business, environment and society, especially regarding deforestation and labour. We will promote increased volumes of sustainably sourced and processed products. We will use land and water resources efficiently and minimise greenhouse gas emissions. And we will promote better livelihoods, good labour practices and food security. Olam will continue to grow responsibly, listening to and learning from our multiple stakeholders, and we look forward to sharing our 2017 progress.